Welcome to another episode of the Love and Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, I'm going to continue my trek through season 1, episode 7 of Fight to Survive. We are dwindling down to the final episodes of this first season, and it has been one incredible ride. We started off with 17 competitors set out to survive on a remote island for 25 days while fighting each other to win $250,000. It's been one of the more crazy and wild reality shows in some time. I'm part of a Facebook group that has seen some of the Fight to Survive Facebook group, and it has been brought a lot of clarity on some of the ideas behind the show. That they said this was kind of a trial experiment. A lot of the cast and crew didn't know what they were kind of getting themselves into throughout the show. So that's kind of cool and fascinating to understand. But we pick up at day 17 with Libby talking about how Team Survive is going to do all they can to survive instead of battling them. We kind of know this. Kay and Nathaniel are chatting up that say they don't have much water left and are on the verge of coconut hunting. The lack of water is starting to take a toll on them. Libby is struggling without food. There's 8 days left, but she is so hungry. Amal and Team Fight are trying to comfort her in the process. Amal talked about the atmosphere being hard, and this game is equally as mental as it is physical. We're starting to realize that as you unpack the show, you're watching, and you cannot believe that some of these people might be the most physical fit individuals, but the challenge is to overcome the mental things. Like at night, like we have seen a couple of episodes when it's raining, it's cold and it's freezing and you're bundled up and then you're just there with nothing but your thoughts. It has taken a toll. 17 days without proper food, proper nutrition, proper water, all of those things. It's caving in on these individuals. At the cave, they're keeping hydrated with coconut water. Stephanie talked about how they're trying to last the 25 days while Team Fight is trying to fight. Libby decided to walk away. Libby decided to walk away, but Jay and the rest of the team are supporting her while Makaina is trying to convince her into staying. The rest of them are like, hey, don't guilt her into staying just because you want to be there. Akbar comes over to chat with Libby and talk to her about what is going on. This is the one thing that I do enjoy and have enjoyed about this is like hey, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about this. Are you really ready to tap out? What can you look like? And she says, she's just like, all the pain that she's going through in her head. And she realizes it's her time. Missy breaks down in tears as the rest of the team knows she's a big part of their team and she will be missed. Makana says that she feels like the odd one out as she's the non-fighter of the group. As this is happening, Nathaniel and Kay go out looking for food and stumble across a wild boar. They were able to snag the wild boar. Kay breaks down the wild boar and sends Nathaniel back to start cooking the meat, and they were eating good. And this is some of the things, like, I know it's taking them 17 days to finally find like an actual animal, but man, like, I'd love to know a little bit more about this. I would love to know a little bit more about what they had to go through maybe in some aspects of this, because it's like, why didn't they try to find more animals? Did we just not see that? Was that part of it that was edited out, et cetera, et cetera? So we see Nathaniel and Sarah hatch a plan to use the boar head to scare off somebody at the water resource and then snag the water resource and not leave. However, what they don't know as they're preparing to do this, Makana was standing at the water resource and she was sleeping because she was protecting it, and something fell on top of her and she wasn't trying to get bit or eaten or anything, or not eaten. She's not going to get eaten. That was a little whatever, but she's trying not to get stung or anything like that. So she abandoned the post already. They sneak in, realize she's not there at the water resource. They snagged it. It's theirs. And it's like, holy cow. Missy wakes up and sees Nathaniel at the water resource, and they are like, what is going on? So Missy, Amal, and Jay start talking. They begin to wonder if Makaina was working with Nathaniel to take the water. They confront her on it, and they're kind of threatening her, and they're like, what is going on? Missy tells them she will step up and challenge them for the resource and make them tap. However, as this happens, Akbar bangs the drum, announces for everyone to come join him. He said only 8 remain with Libby gone. He tells them that he banged the drum. He announces that this point forward, there will be an existence challenge. So, just like the resources, you can challenge another individual for their existence on the island. If you win, they go home. If you lose, you go home, no matter what. And then, of course, you will acquire all of those resources. So, Missy talked about the battling and the challenges to get the people off the island one by one by one. Jay announces that he's going to challenge Nathaniel. He wants that. Not only does he want that water resource back, but he wants to battle because they just snuck over and just took their shit. And he's like, no, we're not doing that. So Akbar asked Nathaniel if he had learned anything from the last challenge, and he said that he did. Akbar announces the challenge will happen later tonight. Nathaniel says, no, it won't, and quits. Like, I just can't believe that instead of battling, we're just going to quit. Like, it really bothers me. And I understand, and understanding from the point of view now of these contestants uncertain of what was going to happen in this entire show, the battling, the challenges, the resources, the fighting. But as soon as you know these things, you've got to prepare yourself mentally and physically to go to battle instead of just walking away. It's man. So that being said, of course, we know that they can't bang the drum until the following day. The storms are coming in. Team Survive and Team Fight are struggling big time. Team Fight is freezing and struggling with it. Amal, Jay, and Missy kind of all snuggle up together. Sarah said she would have played the game a little bit differently had she known this was the game that was going to be played. She arrived to the drum and decided she's going to bang the drum. Finally, someone stepping up to the plate and going to battle. I love this aspect of the show, and I think that it's something creative and useful that could be used if we get another season. Hopefully we get another season. But it reminds, like, Sarah's like, I'm going to battle Makina, and I think she's the only one that she might be able to take on one-on-one. Love this. Love finally from somebody from Team Survive saying, you know what? I'm going to risk my time on this island to battle the team that continuously battles us. Team Survive is struggling, and Kay has now decided that he's going to walk away. Amal is getting frustrated with Makina as the rest of the team. They tell her to tap out. She can't handle it. Of course, she gets all offensive on that. Kay said that the team fight is going to challenge him, and he isn't just going to deal with that. Then Stephanie says, at the same time, she's going to tap out as well, leaving Sarah to fight Team Fight all by her lonesome. They announce, I just can't believe it. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's kind of dropped. Like, this entire episode, I think we went from 8 people to 4 or 5. And then, of course, we got a battle pending as well. They announced the battles amongst the crew being banished, and everyone is dropping like 5. Sarah said she's going to do what she can to stay and fight. Akbar announces that Stephanie and Kay have left, leaving the island with 5 people. Said that she's going to challenge Makina for her existence. Jay said they would rather see Sarah take out Makina and then them having to do it a little bit later. Everyone was rather excited to see Sarah bang the drum, and Sarah was kind of weirded out by everyone's excitement. This follows with Team Fight. Missy, Amal, and Jay telling Sarah that they would show her some things, tips and tricks on what to do to battle out in the arena, since they have done the same for Makina. And Sarah is very confused, but they're playing both sides of the fence here. I like this a lot because they knew that Makina was a weak link here. Makina says all she sees is she pictures victory, and that's what she plans on doing. Jay heads over to Sarah to help her. She's wondering why he's helping her now. She even says to him, you want to get rid of her too, don't you? And he just smiled. Makina versus Sarah, loser heading home. The two battled hard. This was actually a much, it was a better battle than I kind of expected, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. I kind of thought Sarah would walk through Makina and just walk out. But when if you're watching this battle, when you see the middle of the ring and you see somebody falling down and that person get on top, that typically means that wear and tear of being on top of somebody already lacking all of nutritious things, 100% see that person that ends up on top is going to win a lot of the time because they have all of the advantage there, and the person on the bottom is fighting so hard that they are unable to get out of that scenario, or when they do, they're just too tired. We see Sarah rip the totem out of their hand and out of Makana's hand and win, sending Makana home. She was excited to win. I love this. She deserved this moment. Everyone around her bailed. She stayed. She fought. She won. Congratulations. Of course, Sarah now wonders if it'll be interesting with how Team Fight handles her. Everyone knew that Makana needed to leave the group. Amal, Missy, and Jay knew that they wanted it to be the three of them at the end. Makana says a bunch of stuff at the end of the episode. Missy asks if they can sleep in the cave with Sarah. Sarah said that she hopes that they don't challenge and kick her out the following day. She tries to trust them and allows them to stay that night. Sarah says she's ready to put things in the past, while Jay says to the camera, this is a trio, not a quartet. So it's going to be interesting. We see a little bit of a preview. We see that there is a challenge made to Sarah. Sarah kind of breaks down and freaks out over that scenario. So it's definitely something that is going to be interesting to watch unfold over the next episode, because these two, it's going to be an interesting battle. I cannot believe and I cannot wait for it to happen. But my thing is this, does the trio at some point, once they beat Sarah, do they start to think, maybe I can win this game by myself? That's the part that I'm intrigued the most by. And who's to say if Amal or Missy challenge Sarah, that Sarah doesn't win the challenge? A lot of things left. 1 or 2 episodes, I think, remain, which is fantastic. It means we're closing in on the end of season 1 of Fight to Survive. I'm really hoping that we get a Fight to Survive season 2, because I've really enjoyed my time with the show. I enjoyed each and every one of you tuning in each and every week to watch the episode and watch me recap the episode and break down my thoughts throughout the season. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys next week.